Hey everyone, it's Friday. Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Video Cliff Notes for Entrepreneurs. Woo, woo, woo. All right, I am so excited to be here on this day with you all. Yes. I thank you all for joining in again along with us finishing this book out, y'all. Can y'all believe we made it to this end of this book? Y'all read a whole book. Even y'all, this is just coming in for the first time. Guess what? You get to celebrate on finishing a book, even though you came in on the last day. It's all right. It's all right. We're going to give you the win, right? Sometimes we need that win in our life. So welcome in, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. And we are reading the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. Yes. Y'all, it was 18 chapters. We've been reading it for the last few days, right? For like almost the last, 7 days? We've been reading along. And you all have been joining in the conversation, talking about how can we have this extraordinary life, right? That we want. How can we really live out the dreams that we have in our mind, right? And I know I have some young people that have been joining in. So hello to all my babies all around the world. I love you all, right? And I want y'all to start dreaming too, because y'all are in the prime to be able to catch on really early and learn all the lessons that the adults we had to learn. Yeah, you don't have to go through all the craziness. Why? Because these are the secrets. You get all of the secrets, right? So you can have the life that you want. And the thing is, you create your own life, right? It's all about the choices that we make. And one of those choices that we learn is by focusing in on one thing, right? One thing. So even if you're in school, right, and you may have troubles in one of your classes, well, what is the one thing that you can do to be able to improve your grade? One thing. That's it. Just focus on one thing. What's the one thing you can be able to do? If it is a test that's coming up, and sometimes we get anxiety, or sometimes we put things off to the last minute, right, and procrastinate. Well, what is one thing that you can do to start changing so that you don't procrastinate and wait to the last minute to study for those tests? Yeah, I know you do. I know. It's okay. It's okay. Because we're going to get this right. That's what we're here for, to help each other to be able to move forward, make some progressions in our life, and get out of life what we really want. So, thank you. I see you, Alyssa. I love the love. Thank you for the love, girl. But yes, so we are going over, y'all, the last chapter, chapter 18, is about the journey, right? The journey. And the thing is, to have a journey, what does it take? How do you start a journey? Do you know? Do you know how to start a journey in your life? Well, you start a journey with one step. Just one. We only need one step to start off whatever journey it is that we have in our life, right? So that's what this whole thing is about. The one thing is about that first step in moving forward. Now, if you were not here in the very beginning, one of the first stories that they talked about was a domino, right? How one domino can potentially knock down another domino twice its size. So I don't know if you've ever seen those competitions, and I talked about this before. Those competitions, and they set up all these dominoes, and they're going through all of the different like paths, and they set them up, on different stages, and they're going over little hills and all kind of things, right? They have competitions for this, y'all. People sit up and stack those dominoes one by one, and they have to, I think, be equally spaced apart, and they spend so much time, and then guess what? They all get knocked down, but they only get knocked down with one effort. One single domino will knock out all of those rest of those dominoes. So if we look at it, that's how life can happen for us as well. Life can happen just as easy with a little bit of effort, and all of this fabulous goes knocking down, right? So that is where how we have to look at things. What is that one thing that we can do to create that momentum in life to be able to knock down one thing at a time? Hello, hello, Chop. Is it Chop C Gaming? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome in. So yes. So what is that one thing? Well, we can apply this in life, and that's what this chapter 18 is about, the journey, right? Pulling all of those chapters together, making it make sense for us, right? How do we create that first domino? Is by starting to really hone in on the time that we allow ourselves, and for us to say yes to something. Yes. Can you say yes? Yes. Just say yes to at least one thing that you really want to focus on. And so once you say yes, then what you're doing is also you start to move towards that goal. Then the next thing we have to do, they said, is time block, right? Time block. And of course, the thing is that the whole overall momentum, right, is putting all of this together because action builds upon action, right? Action builds upon action, habits build upon habits, and success builds upon success, okay? So that's the whole, I'll say, if you really want to sum up everything, that's how we have to look at. These are the building blocks. Those are the actual dominoes that we're putting out. The action dominoes, the habit dominoes, and the success dominoes. And if we keep lining them up one after the other, guess what? Boom! They all get knocked down. Yes, yes, they do. So, one of the other things that they were talking about was only, it says, only when you are willing to go too far, you will learn just how far you can go. That was like boom. That was like a mind blown moment. Let me read it to you one more time. One more again. Only when you are willing to go too far, you will learn just how far you can go. Now I kind of twisted it up a little bit, y'all. I like to remix stuff, you know. If I could really probably have some rhyming and rapping skills or music skills, I'd probably be a dope artist. But unfortunately, that's not my gift. But I still remix this, okay? Only when you are willing to do too much, because people, girl, you're doing too much. I always say that even to myself, you're doing too much. So only when you're willing to do too much, you will learn just how much you can do. So that was my remix version of it. And so that's where I'm going to do too much, y'all. I'm just going to do it because I need to push my limits in life, right? Because I got some big goals. Big goals. Yes, yes, yes. And so that is where I'm going to be focusing on. And the thing is, why I'm going to do that, why I'm going to be too much, is because at the end, they say at the end of life, you don't want to live with having any regrets. So if you can live without and avoid having regrets, then you might as well just be too much, right? It just makes sense. So yes. So there was a story as well, and it kind of put it together, and it was like, ooh, we learn a lot through stories. That's why we all here, right? We're here, especially digital life. We get drawn in to the story. The story could be music. The story could be dancing, but it's still a story. It's a journey, right? And so one of the stories that they shared was, they said it was a father and it was a son. And so the son was like, Dad, we haven't been able to spend a lot of time together. And it's like, okay, well, tomorrow we'll spend some time together. So The dad got up actually a little bit early because he was like, you know what, I'm gonna wake up a little bit early so I can still do my little morning thing, drink my coffee, read my newspaper before it's time for the son to get up and we have, I have to spend time with him. So he's like, I'm gonna do that. So he got up, got his little coffee, y'all. Where's my coffee cup? I don't have no coffee cup, but he had a little coffee cup. He drinking his coffee, reading his little newspaper. And then all of a sudden he like, hey dad. He's like, what you doing awake? He's like, Dad, you said we gonna spend time together. Yeah, I thought you were gonna sleep a little bit later. That's what Dad was thinking. It's like, but Dad, I'm so excited. I couldn't sleep. I had to wake up. I'm ready, ready, ready. And he's like, okay, okay, okay. Calm down. I gotta still finish my coffee. He thought about it. He's like, ooh, let me give him something really good that's gonna tie him up in some time. And he's like, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this little newspaper that I'm reading. It's a picture on here. I'm gonna tear it up in pieces and I'm gonna give him a puzzle. That's gonna take him time while I finish my coffee and read the rest of the newspaper. So he did that. He gave him some tape and he's like, here, put this together. And what it was a picture of like a world. And so he tore that world apart. He put it down on a little coffee table and he went back to drink his coffee. Drinking his coffee, y'all. All of a sudden, son was like, Dad. It's like, yeah, what's up? It's like, Dad, Dad, I'm finished. I did it. It's done. It's like, dude, that was supposed to take you a long time to do. What you doing finished already? It's like, Dad, I was just so excited, and then all of a sudden, it just came together. I just was able to put it all together, and he put it all together. He was like, I don't get it. How did you do it so fast, though, son? He's like, well, Dad, I was putting it together and then I knocked some of the pieces off the table. And I noticed when it fell off the table was glass. And when it fell off in the under the glass, I was able to see the reflection. And on the back of the world was a man. So I focused on putting the man together. And when I put the man together, the world came apart. Came together. Okay? Did y'all get that? The world came together when he put the man together. So I was like, wow. All we got to do is focus on us. See, some of y'all out here too focused on everybody else. Y'all been drinking too much tea. Ooh, right? Sipping on other tea. You don't need to sip on tea. We got to worry about us. We got enough in us to worry about, right? So I thought that was an amazing story. So of course, he didn't tell it like I told it. Of course, I'm unique. We all gonna tell the story a little bit different, but that's exactly what happened. Is that the world was on one side, the man was the other. He had to put the man together to bring the world together. And I was like, that's dope. That's super dope, right? So the thing is, at the end of the day, you are the first domino in life. So once you get you together, and guess what? You're going to be able to knock over the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, all with just even that little effort of you worrying about just you. That's how life is starting to come together, y'all, right? And remember, there was a focus question. If y'all are just joining us, the other day we talked about there was a focus question that we can apply to every single almost scenario, every area of our life. And that focus question, and see, it kind of goes together, it goes like this. What is the one thing I can do? And you put like a time frame on it. So what is the one thing I can do this week to figure out my life purpose, that by doing this, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Okay. Did you get that? And we can try that out in different areas of our life, whatever your focus is. So your focus question is, say if it was family, right? You'll say, what is the one thing I can do to spend more quality time with my family? And by doing this, everything else will be easier or unnecessary. All right? That's your focus question. You can do the same thing with your job. right? What is the one thing I can do today to complete, my current project ahead of schedule? So it will make everything else either easier or unnecessary. Say the same thing with your team. What is the one thing that we can accomplish in this meeting? Nobody like long meetings, right? Like me. I don't like pointless meetings. I don't like long meetings. Like we need to get some stuff done. So a lot of us, we need to ask this question in the meeting: what's the one thing that's gonna get us out of here faster, and we actually gonna get some work done? All right, let me get off my soapbox. Okay, so let's go back. What is the one thing we can accomplish in this meeting and end early to make everything else either easier or unnecessary, right? So that is with our work or team. The other one is with if you have a nonprofit. You can say, what is the one thing I can do to be able to fund our annual financial needs? What is for school? What is the one thing I can do to, like, if you're in a I'll say a leadership position, what's the one thing I can do or we can do as a team, to be able to double our parent participation or be able to increase our graduation rates by 100%, or raise our test scores by 20%. Like, you can put time frames on them and put them into different scenarios. If you're in a place of worship, what is the one thing we can do to improve our worship experience? What is the one thing we can do to max out our attendance, right? Or double our outreach? That will make everything else what? Easier or unnecessary. So the thing is, once we knock some of the stuff out, maybe some other things that we were doing that weren't working now, that's why I said it will make those processes either easier or no longer necessary. Because now you're focused on getting one thing done that will work. Okay. And then another one is with community. What is the one thing I can do to improve our community? And I want to say happy Earth Day. Today's Earth Day. So that makes, so much sense. What can I pick up a piece of trash and put it into the recycle bin? That will help. That's the one thing you can do. You might not feel like it's a big impact, but it's still one thing you can do, right? To help to be able to clean our world and put things where they're supposed to put, so it doesn't hurt the environment or hurt the animals. Okay, so those are things that those are the focus questions that we can ask in every single scenario in our life to be able to get down to the nitty gritty, right? So we can really, really hone in. And so there was another point that they kind of made earlier about how we sometimes need to focus so much on one thing, or how it really kind of ignites. That's kind of where they went with it. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if y'all ever watched any of those survival shows, but I used to love watching those survival shows, right? And they put you in the middle of nowhere. Even though I don't know if I really want to be left in the middle of nowhere, because that sounds kind of scary or whatever, being left in the middle of nowhere and you don't have anything, right? So you have to use the land and figure out how to survive. And so one of the things is, or the first thing, three things usually that they always focus on is they like, okay, we're in the middle of nowhere, we don't have much, but we need to figure out where we're going to shelter at. We need to figure out where our closest water source is, and we need to figure out how to start a fire, right, to stay warm or to cook some food if we find some. So those are the things that they actually really focus on. And so even when you think about fire, a lot of times they get there, they don't have what we like. We have fire. We can just go get a little lighter thing, and light it up. Well, if you're in the middle of nowhere, you don't have no lighter, you don't have no matches. So how else would you figure out how to start a fire? And so one of the things that we could do is we could search around, of course, because I did talk about littering, right? Unfortunately, it's probably some kind of glass or something reflective out there you possibly can find. Well, the thing is, if you hold that whatever shiny object, whether it's a mirror or a glass, and you hold it onto like some dry brush that you have gathered up, and you hold it there and you shine it. Over time, that heat builds up, right? And then it's gonna start to, it's you shine it at one spot. You don't have to hold there though. You're gonna have to hold it for a minute. Your arm might get tired. Okay, so it's okay because you're gonna hold the fire. You're gonna shine your light. Hold on. You're gonna shine your mirror. You're gonna aim it. Oh, your arm gonna be tired though. You're gonna be weary. But the thing is, over time, it's gonna start to smolder. It's gonna smoke, and all of a sudden, guess what? It's gonna ignite. And then once it ignites, it's gonna catch fire, and it's going to now be your source of heat, right? Their source to be able to use it to cook anything with, to boil your water, to make sure it's sanitized, right? So that's the thing, is that to ignite your life, you must focus on one thing long enough to catch fire. Nobody said it's gonna be easy. Like I said, your arms might hurt, your legs might hurt, you might have a little bit of pain, but if you focus on it long enough, it will catch fire. And that is the whole premises of what this book is about. How to focus on one thing so we can actually get extraordinary success and the results that we really want in life. And so I am so happy that you all have been along this journey to be able to actually finish. We finished our first book, y'all. Yes. We finished our first book. And so that is where I'm going to be able to leave you all. We're gonna come back with another book though, okay? But I'm gonna give you all a break this weekend. We're gonna start back up on Monday with a new book called Start With Why. That's what we're gonna read next. Start With Why. But I really want you all to focus on over this weekend. I'm going to be sharing some other things too. Still, you're not going to not see me. You're going to see me still. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm just going to be in your face again. Okay. But yes, so I want you to really focus on asking yourself that one question. And the reason why that focus question, there was a whole chapter on just that one focus question. And it was talking about how if we really focus on asking that one, it's called one big question that's very specific. Okay, so remember, what is the one thing I can do? So it's a big question, but then it gets really specific about one, right? What's the one thing I can do to be able to change this situation, whatever it is want it to focus on, to make everything easier or unnecessary. And then that leads us to a small and focused answer. So a big and specific question leads us to a small and focused answer. Okay? That's it, all right. A big and specific question. Let me say it again. Because y'all gonna catch me and be like, okay, all right, you didn't say that right. But one big and specific question will lead to a small and focused answer. So if you want to be able to, so you can try to do everything you could do in life, right? You can try to do everything you wanted to do, but you could still end up with nothing. Or, it's always an or if you try to do one thing, the right thing, one right thing, you could end up with everything you want. So instead of us trying everything, I'm like, listen, let me just try the one thing. That's easier, right? Than trying everything. So all you all out there that are, you've been dipping and dabbing and this and that, trying to figure out what it is, just pick one. I don't care which one. Pick one, stick with it, and try the one thing approach. Apply the questions, focus in, create your time blocks, which is a priority to protect your yes. When you say yes to something, that is your protection. You create those time blocks, right? That will be able to protect you from you, right? And keep you focused on actually completing all the tasks that you need to complete. So that is it for the one thing, y'all. This has been a fun ride. I'm so happy. So glad you all been able to join in. Remember, if you are watching the replay, drop your name, drop your city, drop your state, drop your country into the chat so that other people can connect with you. If you have a business, if you are an influencer, you have a page, you have content that you want to be able to share and grow, right? It's all about growing and connecting from one to another. We are human beings. We're meant to be communal and talk and communicate, right? So it's not just about the likes and the hearts. It's about also the engagement. So also, if it's something that you have a dream and you would just want to share it with me, hey, send me a message. I'd love to hear about it. And let's get you focused on that one thing so you can get it done. All right. So thank you all for joining me again. Have a wonderful, amazing rest of your evening on Earth Day, which happens to also be 4/22/22. And I don't know if y'all into into the numbers, but it was like 4, and then 2 plus 2 is another 4, and then 2 plus 2 is another 4. So it's like 444 today, right? I thought it was like, wow, that was pretty dope to me that it's 444. And I had to go back and I had to take a little look. And I was like, well, what is the significance of the number 4? And the number 4 actually means the significance of it. I actually looked it up. Where is it really quickly so I can drop that knowledge to y'all? But it's considered a number of, self-guidance and stability. And there were some 4 facts I wanted to kind of share with y'all. Some cute 4 number facts. Did you know that the English word number 4 is a one of a kind, meaning it's the only number that has the same number of letters that is its value? I know it's a math question, kind of, right? It's a little tricky math question. But think about it. The number 1 has what? It has 3 letters to it, right? 3 has 5 letters to it. But the number 4, it has actually 4 letters. Isn't it? That's a cute little fact. I don't know. I like it. And then what was the other one? Where is it? Oh, this is the other thing. So it says U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt believed that everyone in the world should have 4 basic freedoms. And the freedoms were freedom from want. I need to figure out what that means, but freedom from want, freedom of speech, freedom from fear, and freedom of religion. I think that's dope too, right? And then of course I had to find a techie fact on the number 4, y'all. Okay, so I found one. Now this one is a little deep. This one you're gonna have to put your thinking cap on, right? Y'all got a thinking cap? Let's put our thinking cap. Okay, pick it up, put your thinking cap on. Boom. All right, because it might go over your head just a little bit, but here we go. So in tech, right? Okay, we there, y'all. We in tech. All right, so we know that computers, they store a lot of information, right? You following me? Come on. Computers store a lot of information on what they call gigabytes and terabytes, right? That's where all the information is stored. So at the end of the day, they say computers, even though they're getting tiny, they still deal with a lot of tinier, but it's still a lot of data, right? The most basic unit of information is known as a bit. Following me? Okay. 8 bits are known as a byte. Okay. And it says, so that means some practical joker was obviously involved in the naming of all of this, right? Because 4 bits is a half of a byte. Can't make this up. And not only that, and that half a byte is called a nibble. So yeah, so that's why it has to be like a practical joker that really came up with that, right? A bit, a bite, and a nibble. Really? Gotta love my techie people. But yeah, so that was I think is that the oh well another one. So if you're into sports, the number 4 is represented everywhere in baseball. There are 4 bases in the game. If the pitcher makes 4 mistakes in a row while throwing the ball, known as a balls, right? Then the batter gets to walk to the first base without actually hitting any balls. Go figure. And finally, the most number of runs that a batter can score from one hit is 4. And so it says, which is most commonly known as a grand slam. And this is possible when all the bases are loaded up with the previous batters and they all make it back to base in one hit. Does that sound familiar? The one thing? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, so that's why it's important, y'all. This is how things all just make sense, right? They come together. I'm talking about the number 4. We still went back to the one thing. So that's what we have to focus on. That one thing. You all go have an amazing weekend. I'm going to talk to you all soon. Stay tuned on all the channels. You can find me at Savvy Sine on all social media. And we are going live today. LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as well. So see you all soon. Love you. Have a wonderful evening.